Welcome to the Cow Emporium. Today we're going to crunch some numbers and make some cheese. We're going to see if we can save a little bit of money making our own cheese. This is Canadian milk. This is a Homo milk. It's 3.25% homogenated. We've got 4 liters here. And we're going to weigh some stuff out and we're going to make a little bit of cheese and see how the numbers crunch. So making cheese is super duper simple. All you need is a little bit of some milk with a little bit of fat in it and some kind of acid like vinegar or lemon juice, some salt in a pot, and maybe a thermometer if you haven't done it before. We're going to be weighing everything so that we'll have some idea how the numbers work when we're done. So we've zeroed the scale with our pot on there. We're just going to make a small batch here and we'll talk about the reason for that later. And I'm going to put 500 grams of milk in as best as I can. That's approximately 2 cups of milk. So we're going to gently heat the milk up to about 170 degrees Fahrenheit. I like to do that because that's kind of the pasteurization temperature. It resets the clock on anything that might spoil, so everything's nice and fresh when you're done. And you got to warm it up anyways to add the acid to it. But 170 is a good temperature. You don't need to boil it or get crazy, just nice and hot. The thing that takes the most time in this process is just warming the milk up. You need to do it gently so that you don't scorch it to the bottom. So just stir it and warm it up. All right, 175, that's warm enough. So for 2 cups of milk, I've got 4 teaspoons of lemon juice here, and we're just going to add a little bit. And a little more. We just keep stirring it in and adding a little bit at a time. Pretty soon the curds will start to form. There, we're starting to form some curds there. You see the yellow liquid in there? Kind of looks a little bit like lemonade. So we have curds and we have whey. And we don't want to add any more than we absolutely need to get it to turn, because it makes the curds kind of tough and grainy if you add too much acid. It's going to be still a little bit white in the whey, but you want to have most of it turned to curds. And we strain the curds off from the whey. You could use cheesecloth or whatever you have available. A strainer like this works okay. Carefully scrape the curds into our bowl here. Okay, so we can look at it. So now we have cheese, and there's just a little bit of whey in here. And depending on how dry you want this to be, how much of the whey you're going to squeeze out of it. You can let it hang in your cheesecloth for a while, like overnight, or you can just let a little bit of it come out, and it'll make a really nice, similar to cream cheese. We're going to weigh the cheese. $105 grams. You can add a little bit of salt, some herbs and spices. There's just over 100 grams there. And that's 80 cents worth of cheese. Nice and fresh. This cheese is a blank palate. Whatever you decide to add to it is what it's going to taste like. You add herbs and garlic or some salt or something sweet. It's wonderful. We're left with a cup and a half of whey. Now this is not a waste product. This stuff is really good in baking or adding to mashed potatoes or all kinds of stuff. So you don't save a whole lot on the cheese, but if you use your whey in place of milk, then that's a real bonus savings, and it's nutritional, and it doesn't taste bad at all. It actually tastes really good when you add it to your baking or in your mashed potatoes. So don't be afraid to use your whey in your baking, and probably like within a week or something, whatever you'd think for milk. Obviously you can scale this up, whatever you want to do. We don't like to make too much at a go because we like to use the whey, and you end up having too much whey if you make a whole bunch at once, and it ends up going to waste. But if you make small batches, your cheese is nice and fresh, and you get your whey all used up in your baking, and that's your best value. So we're just adding some oregano and some garlic and some onion powder. We're going to stir this up and put it in the fridge, and yeah. Thanks for watching.